Hey everyone, welcome back to Python Learning. In this video, I'm going to discuss about tuple functions and the methods. We all know that tuples are basically used for storing information. They are one of the data structures. First, let's explore how we can create a tuple. First way of creating a tuple is just using a equals, using common brackets, and just write values using comma separation. So this is one way of creating the tuple. And if you want to know the type of a tuple, you can just use like type of key. Great. There is another way of creating a tuple, that is using a tuple function. So what you people have to do is just use your tuple function, b equals tuple of, you just need to pass a list of elements using comma separation. Okay, again, this is going to be a tuple. Let me try to print b and also let me try to check type of b. So it sees like a tuple. So these are the two different ways to create a tuple. One is using a parenthesis, another one is using tuple function. Okay. So next important thing that you need to understand is like properties of a tuples. Tuples are ordered. Why we call it like order? Because all the elements in a tuple are basically arranged in specific order. They all follow a fixed place. Okay, so because of that ordered nature, we can do indexing and a slicing. Let's say, for example, you have a tuple. And let's say you want to extract the elements out of this tuple. Let's say I want the first element. Let's say I want first element from this tuple. So how do you get the first element? We just use an indexing 0. So we're gonna get 100, right? So similarly, what if I want to fetch multiple elements? Let's say fetch 100, 200, and 300. So we know that index of 100 is a 0 and we want it till 300. 200 is 1, 300 is 2. And in a slicing end value is not included, so I'll just give it like a 3. See, from 100, 200, 300, you got all three elements. Okay, that's how tuples are ordered. Next important thing is like, tuples allows a duplicates. Let's say you have a tuple with duplicate values, even still it allows. See, you can include elements any number of times. There is no restriction. It actually creates a tuple. See? This is how the tuple can be created. How it's clear. So next important thing, we cannot change our tuple elements. One of the main property of a tuple is immutable. Many people ask me the question like, what is the difference between list and a tuple? There is a difference. First difference is in order to create a list, we use a square bracket, but in order to create a tuple, we use a common brackets. The second difference is notable differences. Lists are mutable. Mutable in the sense we can modify, but when it comes to a tuple, tuples are immutable. Immutable means once tuples are created, you're not supposed to touch it. Okay, we call such things as, immutable. Yeah. So let's see, what if I try to, change a tuple value? Let's say in this case, I want to change a value 10 to 100. We'll use a normal indexing approach. I'll just try to fetch 10 first. So I got a 10. Now let me try to assign a number. See? It's giving me error. So from this, we can conclude that tuples are immutable. Immutable in the sense we cannot change or we cannot add something or we cannot remove something from a tuple. Okay, so these are the three different properties of a tuple. Hope it's clear. Order allows duplicates, immutable. The difference between list and tuple is lists are mutable, we can change, tuples are immutable. Once you create it, they are like fixed. You're not supposed to touch that. Okay, yeah. So we have a different tuple functions and like list, length, max, minimum, type, sum, range, enumerate, and sorted. Let's see how it works. Length basically used to find the number of elements in a tuple. So let's say, for example, you have a tuple something like this. Okay, this is my tuple. So I just want to find how many elements are there in a tuple. I'll just use a length function. So it just give me length of A, which is 7. So what if I need to find maximum of a tuple, maximum element? So it's clearly 900. So you can use a minimum function in order to find minimum element in a tuple. It just gives you 1. What if you want to find sum of all the elements in a tuple? Just use sum of A. What if you want to find type of A? We all know that, it's a tuple, but still, how do you question to your programming? So it says like it's a tuple. Next important function that you need to master is basically, range function. You can also use a range along with a tuple. What if you want to generate tuple of numbers from 0 to 5? You can just call tuple of, use a range, and if I see just 6 elements, it's going to generate values from 0 to 5. Okay, similarly, what if you want to generate simple, pretty much similar to your list only. List of range means you get your end result in a list format. Tuple of range means you get it in a tuple format. Okay, that's the only difference you notice. Yeah. So next one is like tuple of, let's say I want from 1 to 6 because 5 should be included. So make sure you give 1 to 6. So similarly, what if you want to generate an even numbers? Use tuple of starting values are 2 and I want it till 11 and step is going to be 2. See, this is how, oh, sorry, I didn't use a range. Yeah, it should be range of starting value, ending value, and also the step. See, previously it was giving result in a list. Now it's giving result in a tuple format. Okay, hope this is clear. So next important thing is like an enumerate. We all know that enumerate is used in order to get a index of each element, right? You can just use tuple of enumerate of your tuple. See, it's giving index of every element. Okay, next important thing. So can we sort elements in a tuple? So we'll just try to apply sorted off. I'll just pass A. And can you see everything got sorted in increasing order? If you want same thing to be sorted in decreasing order, just use colon colon minus 1. That is double colon minus 1. See, done. Okay, this is all about a sort function. Next interesting thing about a tuple is tuple methods. We don't have much methods related to a tuple because tuples are immutable, right? You cannot modify or you cannot delete things the way we did in our list. Tuples has very limited methods, okay, like a copy. Let's say already you have a tuple, like what if you want to create a copy of that? You can just use b is equal to a dot copy. Copy in the sense just creating duplicate copy of your original data. Okay, just like creating copy of it. You know why it's not working? Tuple object has no attribute. Again, because of this immutable nature, because of this immutability, a tuple means like we are taking it and we are adding into a new tuple, right? So we know that in a tuple, adding, changing, deleting is not possible. That's the reason copy is not working because of immutable nature. Okay. Yeah. Next important thing used to find occurrence of elements, we just use a count. Let's say, for example, you have a tuple elements like 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. I just want to find the occurrence of 2. You can just use a dot count of 2. That's going to help you in finding. Number of times 2 is repeating, it says like 3 times, right? Okay. Similarly, we use our index function in order to find index position of an element. Let's say I want to find index position of 4. I'll just say a dot index of 4. It's giving me index position of 4 is basically 6. So this is all about, tuple functions and methods. Hope it's clear. Happy learning.